Hi, my name's Rob Scott from UC Today News, and in this session I'm joined by Claire Dutton, who's the Head of Corporate Sales for UK and Ireland at Poly HP. And today we're going to be delving into personalising your UC tech for hybrid success. Welcome, Claire.
Hi, Rob. How are you doing?
I'm really good, thanks, Claire. Yeah, good to see you. And interested to dive into this session today. Just before we do, just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do at Poly, please.
So I head up the corporate sales team for UK and I. I've actually been with Poly for just over 15 years. So it's all about customer success and positive customer outcomes for me and my team.
Fantastic. And first of all, let's just set the scene in terms of this session today. We're going to be talking about kind of, tooling up, using technology for hybrid success in this forever changing, landscape. So just to kick things off, what do you think will be the key business and people challenges in 2023?
So, the return to the office is happening and hybrid work is here to stay. Work for us it's no longer a praise anymore. It's really what we do, and having the right technology is really key to execute efficiencies. I think employers, we've all been consumers over the last few years, in that COVID environment. So now employees definitely demand better technology to meet the requirements of the new ways of working. And we're all behaving like consumers. We all want it now. We want it tomorrow. We want it as soon as possible. I think real estate investment is going to be key. The 9-to-5 is dying. Work is definitely a lot more fragmented. So I think in 2023, we're going to see this shift in office redesign and a real increase in organisations creating more open plan offices, better places to collaborate, maybe some more quiet zones, a different way to learn in an environment, and then a selection of different meeting rooms, because, sort of one size doesn't actually fit all. I think culture is really key, and we need to focus on people as your number one asset. And I think that's going to help with people challenges as we move forward into the year, enabling, making sure that your employees are they feel connected and they also feel valued and they've been involved in decision making. I think that's really key to build that culture and overcome some people challenges.
Just in terms of, I want to dig a little bit deeper on that people challenge thing, because, I think at the very heart of this is, our people. How, do we solve the people challenge? What do you think?
So I think, I truly believe that people are your number one asset in a business, and you need to trust them. You need to offer them flexibility, but you also need to give them the right technology to be effective in their daily work. Putting people at the centre of work and not the office is one of the key things. That office, the office needs to be a magnet and not a mandate, which, you mandate things to people and sometimes they will push away from that and not embrace it effectively. So the technology needs to fit an environment. So it needs to be more of an enabler for people to do the work in the most natural way. And then whatever they've been using at home, it needs to translate effectively into the office. So it's still easy to use. It still has a great user experience. It doesn't scare people off from a technology perspective. But also what it doesn't do is it doesn't drive hundreds of IT tickets at the same time. And the persona research for Poly is really key. We've been doing this research for over 10 years. And actually the data insights that we've got from collecting this insight, the data, we can actually, it represents actionable information about all the work styles in a typical business and how to best equip those work styles to be effective. So the persona itself, it's not a specific person, it's more an observation of thousands of people who typically fit into a work style within the workforce of a company. And actually there's typically around 6 that make up 92% of a typical business environment. And we believe that personas are actually vital, because what they do is they drive decisions by taking a common user need sharing an understanding of their goals, their pain points, and the capabilities of the work style, and then we can give them the right technology that suits their needs, because the research really concludes that one size doesn't actually fit all, and matching work styles to devices, what happens is actually it increases productivity, and it allows people to feel like they've been involved in making a decision as well. So once people are involved, feel like they're involved in making that decision, they're happier, they tend to be more productive, they're more likely to adopt the IT, and actually the investment that's been made on the technology can be really measured effectively, and it becomes a lot more successful.
Yeah, so many things to consider nowadays. I mean, you mentioned it briefly there: equity and inclusion. Getting everyone not just included in the business, from a workplace point of view, but no matter where they are, but also just include them in the process. So it sounds like companies really do need a hybrid working strategy this year if they haven't got one already. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Hybrid working strategy is the key to execute all of this really, really well. You have to focus on what, we could call work equity. So, and the work equity is completely the opposite of one size fitting all. And it doesn't mean forcing everyone back into an office without a purpose, but it equally doesn't mean that you have to abandon the office either, because the office is still really, really key. It's really a balanced order of work feeling effortless, spaces being collaborative, meeting experiences being seamless, and also embracing technology that actually powers autonomy and increases participation. So, people who are buying and investing really need to focus on that, the work equity, because they're going to be the winners, I think, in a hybrid world. So, but I think technology is really vital for effective collaboration, and and I think when you're moving forward, people, again, they need to be top of mind. So that's where that persona research comes in when you start making those investments. You need to, it helps buyers, it also helps manage budgets, and it also helps justify budget business cases as well, because the ROE, return on investment, is it's very, very key. I think from a technology perspective, and what buyers should also be focusing on, is making experiences as immersive as possible and as natural as possible. Video rooms are being enabled all the time. It's not something that we did I think it was 8% of all the meeting rooms globally were enabled for video pre-COVID. And obviously that number's increased dramatically over the last couple of years, because we're all used to seeing each other and looking into the whites of the eyes. So, I think a video experience should always be that you've got your best face forward. And having the same experience that you've had working from home, or you're having on a one-to-one basis, it should translate into an office environment. So any sort of technology that you're investing in, you want to make sure that people are having the optimal experience without it feeling unnatural or uncomfortable. And when you look at your personal devices as well, which are really, really key in a hybrid world, as I mentioned before, we are all individual consumers now, but from a hybrid personal device, you need to make sure that you are still having a great audio conversation, that the quality is excellent, but you need to consider the far end and the near end. If you're, just because you're having a great experience doesn't mean the person on the far end is. So you've got to consider that active noise cancelling, and also, participants, they need to be heard and understood. So that's actually really, really key when you start making those investments. It needs to be about everyone involved in a meeting, and not just the technology that you're implementing. The wellness of employees also needs to be considered as well this year. It needs to be top of mind when people are making decisions and aligning budget to where they're actually going to spend it. And I think, when you've got a hybrid workforce, you need to focus on high standards, having product that is really reliable, that you can also provides data insights. So you've got a managed service as well. And you can also have a full support wrap, because actually remote support and having a full service wrap by the manufacturer is actually really, really key, because you want to make sure that workforce is enabled 24/7 in this sort of world.
Fantastic. Well, I'm afraid that's all we got time for today. Claire, it's been great talking to you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. It's been great. Thank you.
And thanks to everyone for tuning in. If you've got some good takeaways from today's session, do give us a quick mention on social and subscribe to our channel for more industry news and insights. I'm Rob Scott from UC Today. Thanks for watching.